It's story time!
Well, the day's been long and the world's gone wild, so pull up a stool and stay a while. Doc's got a drink and a story to share, with headlines, hot takes, and zero cares. It's Drinks with Doc, where the beer flows free, talking about the world and what it means to be pop culture, sports, and a bit of the news. Just Doc and his thoughts, maybe some brews. So raise your glass and kick off your shoes. It's Drinks with Doc, and we've got nothing to lose.
Hello. How's everybody doing today? It's a wonderful Tuesday evening. I was gone for the whole last week, enjoying a little bit of holiday in Oregon. Fun trip. A lot of hiking, a lot of celebrative drinks, so forth and so on. Uh, actually, looking forward to Sasquatch. Didn't find one, but learned a lot of different things about stuff on the West Coast. I see that Rats to the Moon's in the house, and so is Steve Cousins. And if you're in the house and you haven't said hi yet, say hey. Hit the like button and comment, comment, and share this show with everybody. So today, we're going to have a couple of guests coming in. First person that hop in here is Mr. Thomas. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
It's going all right. How about yourself?
I am doing good. I'll be honest with you, I am kind of tired. It's been a long day at work. Hence why I like to do my show on Saturday, and not during the week.
I heard you. I heard. I heard you mention something about a Sasquatch. Did you run into Georgia Transparency?
No, nor did I run into Glenn Serio. So thank goodness for the small favors, right?
Oh, okay, because I forgot you was out in Oregon, so you probably could. I'm surprised you didn't run into the Siberian Putty Cat.
Oh, thank goodness I didn't run into him. I think I would be in jail. I mean, that guy just every time I hear him on the computer, I'm just about ready to break the monitor trying to get to him.
The last time I saw him, he was in court telling the judge what she was gonna do. I'm like, how he is not in contempt of court and telling the prosecution what
See,
they're gonna
here's
do.
part of the part.
I would have put him in jail for contempt.
Here's the thing. Here, we both live in Florida, and the simple truth to this: you misbehave like that in Florida or in a lot of southeastern states in a courtroom, you are going to jail. But the West Coast seems to be
Exactly.
a little bit easier on things, to the point that it's ridiculous how much people are getting away with. I mean, you,
But maybe the judge was giving him enough rope to hang himself
possibly,
on come trial.
yeah, possibly. And it is a crime. It's a crying shame that we are seeing things like this. We're seeing this kind of behavior being condoned in courtrooms. It shouldn't be condoned, and that's going to bring me to part of my discussion today on what we have what during my vacation, because it kind of something happened while I was on vacation, nothing big, but it was an observation that I have, and I'm just going to say something about it. Hey, Flutter Watch.
I see.
Hey, Flutter Watch.
I see. I see. Fraudomania is in the chat.
Yeah.
I guess he was able to. His wife gave him permission to come on tonight.
Well, we're going to do a special poll for Fraudermania. No, Will is not going to be doing a pole dance for us, but we're going to have a poll.
Oh God, no.
We do not want that. Will, we do not want a pole dance.
You know what the last time Will did a pole dance, you know how they paid pole dancers with dollar bills? They actually paid him with rolls of coins, most likely pennies.
So,
Instead of making it rain, they was making it hail.
so we're going to start the special polls because we're going to have several questions tonight about Will. And it's all based upon the question he asked last night. You remember what he asked last night?
He has tons of questions, but the one that stood out is, was he dumber than something? I don't know.
So we're going to start off with the very first question. I'm getting ready to put it in the chat, and that question is popping up right now, and it is Fraudermania dumb? So yeah, so go ahead, answer the question. If you're in the chat, go ahead and answer. Hey Dove, hey Rats, how y'all doing? And I hope Will's still in there because I would love to see his response.
Well, my question, the answer to that question from last
Uh-huh.
night, I don't think Will. I don't think Will is dumb, but he could be naive sometimes.
That is actually a fair assessment. That is actually a fair assessment. Will's a good guy. We love Will. We give him a hard time, but at the same time, yes, he's a little naive and a little childish. But then again, so are we.
Well, yeah, childish is not, well, maybe, but I would also go on the limb and say nerdy, somewhat geeky,
But
things
then
like
again,
that.
so are we.
Well, there's nothing wrong with well, it's a difference between a nerd and a geek.
I think to some degree, both all well, but at least you and I can't speak for Project Watch. I'm not going to call him a nerd or geek because them Aussies are not playing with a full deck of cards. So
Hey,
I,
hey, 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 hey.
so
Well,
Because we're upside down and Australia doesn't exist, doesn't mean that you can say we don't play with a full deck of cards.
hey, Fraud Watch, don't you know I just found out just this past one night what a croaker was?
Aren't they cute?
I know. I was on Head Show Monday, and he showed me a picture. He showed a picture of a croaker. A
Quokka.
croaker? Yeah, quokka. Always got a smile in their
Yep.
face though. But you can't. But you can't keep them as a pet,
No,
can you?
no. They're part of the kangaroo family. The island that they inhabit, which is Rock Nest Island, was named. I think it was named by a Spanish because Rock Nest actually is giant rat, and that's what they thought they were when they first saw them. They thought they were giant rats. But yeah, they're the happiest animal on the world because they've always got a smile on their face.
and just
You can go over there, you can take photos with them, and they're very, very friendly. In fact, they're so friendly that that's their downfall.
hmm. So real
Yeah.
quick, Rats to the Moon had made a comment in the chat, and I kind of curious why her decision. If Rats to the Moon, if you want to come up, let me know. I'll send you the link. Just text me. You got my phone number, so I'll keep an eye for that, and I'll email you the link if you want to come up and talk a little bit. Okay.
Doc has that number that begins with 976.
Went bye by now. And 976 or 1-900 numbers. I haven't heard about those in a long time. And hey Tim and hey Dove, how y'all doing? Okay, so let's get to I'll talk about some things that happened on vacation. One of the big things we did, other than the hiking, good Lord, we hiked all over the place in this mountains. That's a beautiful country, guys. That's a really beautiful country. And being in Oregon in the middle of the summer, I have to still put on a jacket in the mornings because it was like down to 50 degrees. Now, if you're from Florida, you know how the weather's like here, so that's a big contrast. Uh, okay. So that being said, so it's kind of weird getting in the jacket, but it felt good to get out and walk and don't feel like you're suffocating from the humidity and all that kind of stuff. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather. But we went to the grotto. Now, have you guys ever heard of the grotto?
Not.
The grotto
In
at the
Portland.
Playboy Bunny at the
It was-
Playboy. Oh,
no,
Portland,
okay.
no.
So the grotto.
I was at the grotto at the Playboy
Okay,
mansion.
definitely not that. Definitely not that. So let's get that out of your head. Okay, let's just go ahead and get that out of your head.
I can't,
Well, you asked the
Okay.
question.
So the
Mr. Thomas.
grotto.
I can't see Doc in a bunny suit with a fluffy little tail.
So the grotto.
That would actually be a Jack Rabbit.
So the grotto is a Catholic monastery.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They got some very, very beautiful gardens. It's kind of on a lower level. You got the 13 stations of the Stations of the Cross, the sanctuary, outdoor sanctuary, just kind of where you would go to church at. But on the upper lip, on the top of the cliff, there's a beautiful garden that you have to take an elevator to get to, and it's just beautiful. Just walk around and see how well maintained it is. They got a wonderful little meditation center that kind of has a good overlook of Portland's airport, so you can just go in there and just have a little quiet time to kind of think and reflect on things. Just very, very, very beautiful, peaceful time that you can have.
Yeah. I just want to say what's up, Dove, because she's speaking in the chat. What's up, Dove? But is this garden like a place where you have like a wedding and
Well,
also?
I mean, it is a Catholic parish or sanctuary, so yes, I imagine there are weddings there. I would not think you would want to throw your wedding reception there, but you would but you could go there for the ceremony, I would think. Because they do have their daily masses. They do have their daily masses. They do have their Sunday masses, and so yeah. So I attended mass on that Friday, and it was like
mostly not like the wedding, but you probably could take your wedding photos there, right?
yeah, I would imagine so. I imagine you could set up where you could get photos, special occasion photos taken. Probably could work around just all the visitors, because I mean it's not a lot of visitors that was there when we were there, but it was constant flow of people. But it's most like you said, a beautiful place. Just like if you go to Australia, you could take your witness photos anywhere in Australia. You probably see a huge anaconda come out of nowhere. But during this time, I'm just sitting in the meditation chamber, just closing my eyes, just kind of relaxing, having a moment to my thoughts. And there's a sign in there that just says, "Please be quiet." For you just basically indicating, no unnecessary talking. Sure enough, a lady came in with about 4 of her kids, and they had to talk the whole time, and it kind of messed up that peaceful moment. And then I came out, and my wife was ready to go. She went toward the garden a little bit more while I was doing this, and she started saying, people were starting playing the sprinkler while they're watering your grass, and there's big signs around that says, "Stay off the grass, stay on the paved walkways." And it just came to the realization that, well, not a realization, but just reminding me how people don't realize there's time and place for everything. The grotto, which is a religious grounds, playing in a sprinkler on the grass with signs that says "Do not play, do not go on the grass, do not run in the garden." Uh, it's not that. It's not for that. I've been to Washington D.C. and saw where people were playing in the World War II memorial pool. That's not what that's for. That is a reflection of remembering our brave World War II veterans who served and did not come back home. And
Oh, you're not talking about the reflecting pool in
well, this
DC,
is
right? Or you talking the World War
I'm talking
II?
about the one that's for the World War II pool. I did not see anything like that in the
Oh, okay,
reflection
okay.
pool, but the same principle though. It's not meant to
Yeah.
be played in. It's not meant to go. It's meant to be a reflection. It's meant to be, and people wonder why so many people get upset about it, and it's because
Well,
it's part of your history. It's part of your knowing the hardship that those men and women went through during World War II. Mostly men, but there were some women that did lose their lives as well. But
yeah.
that kind of thing.
We had
But yeah, because I have seen pictures of when it comes to the reflecting pool in DC. They wasn't in the reflecting pool. They was mostly had their feet, sitting on the side of them, just had their feet in the reflecting pool. That was mostly it, though.
Man, that to me is still stretching it a little bit. Just my opinion. Someone else may say, well, staying on your feet in the pool is probably not that big a deal, but to me, it's probably a little bit too much. Again, time and place for everything.
we had
Yeah.
one of our
Yeah.
memorials vandalised the day before Anzac Day years
Uh-huh.
ago. I grew up in Adelaide, which is in South Australia, so
Mhm.
it's the next state over. And there was a couple of teenagers, early 20s, I suppose, that decided to spray paint one of our memorials, which is smack bang in the middle of our Anzac Day parade marches.
Mhm.
And for Americans who don't know, Anzac Day is the 25th of April, which commemorates the landing at Gallipoli back in 1914, and it's basically our Memorial Day. It's the
Right.
closest I can. It's the closest I can come as your Memorial Day.
Right.
Two kids decided to vandalise this statue, and within about half an hour, they had been caught by veterans, dealt by veterans, and by the morning, there wasn't a sign that had been vandalised. They complained to the cops that the veterans had installed veteran justice on them, and the cops turned around and went, "Yep, hope you learned your lesson." Then they going up to court. They got charged for it, and I think they got fined like $1,000. But it was like the cops just going, "Yep,
Yep.
hope you learned your lesson."
You effed around, you found out. So, and you know what? Good. I mean, that you have to. These are significant things to a lot of people, and but you're talking about vandalism. And I'm talking about also people playing in pools and that kind of thing. I think I got someone else sitting in the lobby waiting to be coming up. Oh shoot! Sorry, David. My bad. I didn't hear you come in.
You mean you you mean you didn't hear David E. Purses banging on the
I
door?
did not know. I did
No, I
not.
don't.
We
I
were
do
having a
not
very
bang on doors. Thank you very much.
no. He takes
Okay,
one
I
of his
take
pens out and he
I
writes
take
a very scathing letter to you.
That's right, with a nice pen.
Yeah. There's a nice pen as well. But I do.
well let but first off, let's say we want to keep David E. Persons and his family and friends in prayer because he had a pretty bad week. Seriously
Yeah,
though.
we do.
Let's keep him, in our
Yeah,
thoughts and
yes, we do.
prayers.
You're absolutely right.
My
Yeah,
my students had a lot worse week. So
Yeah. Well, we are keeping them in prayer. And if you want to say anything more, you're more than welcome to do so, David.
It's I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's just beyond all comprehension.
Right. So yeah, but that kind of what was brought my mind about David. You probably the type that have heard of the grotto in Portland, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with the reference of the property, treating it because it is a religious grounds.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if they had a playground there, okay, that's where you play. That's where you can cut up a little bit, but not on those grounds in general. Okay, so. But there was a beautiful lake that hiked around. A nice little 2 mile hike. Because it was by a lake, it was very flat, and it was beautiful country.
Yeah, I thought about you actually because the Pacific Northwest Pen Show was going on while you were up there. So
yeah,
that's one.
and another show that was taking place nearby was also the Pacific Northwest mini car show.
Oh,
Yeah. I was a little disappointed that we didn't go to that. We had other things in mind, so I really want to see those minis. So I've seen some around in the resort area, but
the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, Fountain Pen Show, is one of the biggest ones in that area. It's the only real significant one up there that in the Northwest up there. So one of these days I'm going to get to that one.
And let's take a look at the poll that I asked. Actually, let's end the poll. Okay, so apparently, the majority of people think Will's not dumb.
Well, I could have told you that.
Well.
But we told you. I said that he wasn't dumb, but I said it last night. Maybe a little too naive, but not dumb.
Well, yeah.
Matter of fact, is he still here?
I don't know.
Will only has one problem. Will's a nice guy. That sometimes gets him in trouble. But
I would agree with that assessment. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. He's a nice guy, but I think he's just a little bit too obsessed with Eagle Neck. Knowing Will, he probably has a tattoo of Eagle Neck on his back.
Well, let's hope not. That would be painful.
That would be,
especially if he had a sound thing built in where every time someone looks at it, it goes off.
Oh,
I told him last night that K-Far mentioned him on his live stream on Tuesday night. The other night.
Yeah, I heard it after the fact because, again, coming off of vacation, you're just kind of trying to catch up with other things. So I didn't really watch live streams as they are occurring. I just kind of catch up with them after the facts. And it was just a good. When I saw that, I'm like, K-Far's mentioning Will.
Oh, speaking of vacations, by the way, I am on the Outer Banks of North Carolina at Kitty Hawk, right where they've just down the road from where the Wright brothers flew their plane.
Oh, that is a cool area. I had visited that place back in the 80s. So I think it's the last time.
We have our family reunion here every year.
And speaking of
Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the home of the Wright brothers, where they took their first flight.
Fair. The Wright brothers were actually from Ohio. They came down to North Carolina for the flight. And what was their career before? Their career before that they actually built the plane and flew it?
They made bicycles, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, bicycles. Bicycles. They repaired bicycles. I think they repaired bicycles primarily. So that meant they had an understanding of how gears would turn that things and all that kind of stuff. So, and they understood and they figured out what makes a plane fly, with lift, drag, thrust, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very interesting. Their history is very, very interesting to kind of because they didn't die rich men. You would think the men that developed aircraft would be rich. No, they weren't, because they kind of let the secret out of the bag with what was the secret of flight, and then other people were able to build airplanes without having to go through them.
But the question is, did they leave any chemtrails?
Kim? Okay. So that's very interesting. And David, I've came across a Netflix show that's really good that takes place in the North Carolina's Outer Banks, called The Waterfront. I think you might like it. You might like it. It's a really good show. Okay.
I'll check it out. We're way up in the middle of nowhere. We're only about 5 miles from the Virginia border. So
yeah. So the Outer Banks is a very beautiful little seacoast area. There was one part of Outer Banks that I loved to go to growing up. So but that's been years now for that location. All right. So now let's. So the big news this weekend. Big news.
Long Island Audit is being Long Island Audit.
Yes, that is a very fair assessment. And here's the thing. Am I surprised that he showed up at a police officer's house, a state trooper's house? No, because he's done it before. He's done that before. That's not surprising.
So I have DMA.
Yeah, so that's DMA. But let's vote. Long Island Audits has gone to a police commissioner's house and basically scared his wife half to death. And he acted like, why are they so scared? I'm just here recording. But you're a random guy that showed up at someone's house asking questions and walking up and down the street, talking to himself, which he was in essence, because he's recording his conversation with his camera.
He literally was on her property, walked up on the door. Like he did this one, walked up to the porch, knocked on the door.
We're going to really break that down because I got a video up and ready to go for that. But so let's. But this is not uncommon for him. And there's some aspects of this particular one that I'm going. Let's just put it this way: when we get to that point, we're going to really break it down and say some things that might need to be said. So let me throw that on the screen real quick.
You know, real quick. I had watched Lord Pele's video today of it, and I watched Fraud of the Trolls video of it last night, and they both said something that really stuck out.
Can we hold off on that and just add to it as we go along? Because there's some there's some things that you're absolutely right that I'm sure that they added to and needs to be said. So let's go ahead and get this started.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we find ourselves in Connecticut with the dumbass known as the Long Island Liar. As well, he has crossed the line once again as he invades the private property of a police officer and, well, turns into a little bitch complaining about him being assaulted when, well, you know, he's the one on private property. And he ends up getting himself arrested for his trouble along with his cameraman. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this freaking show on the road, shall we?
Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island.
Okay, so right here. If you look, he's got one of those television trucks, ones that shows videos as it going through, usually downtown and many places.
Billboard truck.
Yeah, billboard truck. Now, basically what he was doing without just going too far, he was driving through this police officer's neighborhood, playing the video of where basically he got kicked off property, off the police headquarters property where they were trying to conduct their paperwork for concealed carry. Now, that being said, that's not illegal. Still not right though. It's still not right because I mean, really seriously, now you're harassing the man at his home by doing this, and
it's just annoying. Yeah, it's legal, but it's annoying.
Exactly. I guess you couldn't really call it harassment, but it can cause some problems, and it could probably actually open some doors, I would think, to some civil litigation if it caused him in some trouble with his neighborhood.
In order here, back again with another video. We are currently at an undisclosed affluent location here in the state of Connecticut. Excuse me, Corrupticate. We are here today, as you can see, to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to protest and resist tyranny, and also to investigate allegations of corruption that has been made against Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Brian Fahey. As you can see behind me, Sergeant Brian Fahey is no stranger to tyranny and corruption. Let's get into it. Now, as far as the allegations being made against Sergeant Brian Fahey, I was told through an anonymous tip that he is receiving fraudulent overtime every single year.
Okay, yeah. Now, I looked this up. Basically, I took the numbers he presented and I did some calculations, but we'll get to that. I take everything he says with a grain of salt. That anonymous, that anonymous source may not be.
I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I can almost guarantee you there was no anonymous tip unless he had one of his friends make it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So.
I mean, maybe. I guess maybe, but I mean,
it's possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I just don't trust what he's saying.
If you have a legitimate news story, are you going to call the authorities or CNN, or are you going to call Long Island Audit? I mean, come on.
Yes, seriously, yes.
Now, that was strange to me because Sergeant Brian Fahey, as we know, is the sergeant of pistol permits in an office. How does he receive overtime to begin with? Isn't it a 9-to-5 job? So I did some investigating, and Sergeant Brian Fahey makes over $200,000 a year. Now, get this. $75,000 of that $212,000 to be exact comes from overtime. $75,000. How can this be? Does he stay late?
Okay, so took the numbers that he presented and did some calculation. Okay, the calculation I came up with is the sergeant's putting in roughly about 15 hours overtime a week on average to get that extra $75K. Now I can see that happening. That's picking up that's picking up an extra shift. That's processing paperwork after hours because you got abundance of paperwork. Trying to get things done in a timely fashion. That's very, very feasibly done. That might be him working on holidays.
Right.
So
right.
And again, we're taking what he's saying to be somewhat of a truth. How do we know that is the actual salary that he's making? We don't know. How do we?
That's why I say he never offers any proof of what he's talking about.
Right. Then we go a step further, and again, we call him LIAR for a reason, okay? Because we've seen him lie numerous times, exaggerating points and stories constantly. So anything and everything that he's saying, even those numbers could be false. But that could be, again, he might be on some sort of governor's protection detail, and that's where he's getting overtime from. A lot of times that's what happens is that law enforcement officers who gets placed on the government protection detail may also have another primary job, and they do the government protection detail on the side. Possible. Exactly. It's possible. I'm not saying that is the case, but you know, there's a legit reason why that could be why he's getting that much overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this though: you do see the state trooper sometimes at the when you go not the state court. Well, yeah, when you go to the state court. Yes,
and there could be also extra duties he's picking up too. That's giving him overtime as well. Now,
right. So that's why LA offers no type of proof because this man could be making overtime at any job you because a state trooper could do not just, like he says he's a desk sergeant. Maybe he goes and works at the courthouse. Maybe he does some type of other work where they're shorthanded. He never says
No,
why.
and
with
he's usually set by.
gun permits, they also do investigating and that kind of thing. I mean, he's the guy in charge of gun permits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pistol permits.
But I mean, something else that LIA says is that this sergeant was taken off the streets because he's a danger to the community. That's why he's on a desk job. Where's his proof on that, or is that just him finding some excuse as to why a sergeant would be sitting behind a desk?
Right. So, real quick, Rats to the Moon. LIA says he is a journalist, so with NBC and CBS and so on. So, someone contacting a local journalist to tell on someone, I can see that. Here's the problem with that statement, Rats to the Moon. If LIA is a journalist, then I am a news anchor or a talk show host. He is not a journalist. Everything that he puts out, it's not backed with facts. You can't verify anything that he's putting out because he doesn't put out. It's always an anonymous source and never been verified.
If he's supposed to be a journalist, just hear these points out. He's supposed to be unbiased. He says in this video, I don't like him and he doesn't like me. Okay, well, you're not here to get a story. How are you going to do a story on somebody and you basically hit on one side of the story? You just said you don't like this guy.
Let's get to that point when we get to that. When we'll I'm trying to as we get to it, let's get to it. We'll go over.
When they're closed after 5 o'clock, does he go back on the streets to patrol? I mean, I was told by my sources that he was kicked out of patrol and he's a danger to the community. That's why they have him working in the office. But to get $75,000 in overtime every single year from a desk job.
Okay. Now I'm going to be blunt with this. Again, we don't know who this source is. We don't know this police officer's history. If it's true, why is he still working as a state trooper? Period. Don't care whether it's a state job, whether it's a desk job or it's on patrol. I don't think if he was that bad, I think they would have got him out. Period. To get him away from everything.
But let me ask you this question: if your job was offering you overtime to go on your paycheck, would you take it?
Yes.
Okay, I would take it. So, what? So. But he said that this guy is cooking the books. Okay, then where's your proof for that?
Proof. You're making accusations without any proof of it. Journalism is okay. This is why we're saying this. We believe he's cooking the books. Here's the books. This is what we see. He has put in 30 hours of travel on the weekend when he went down to Jamaica. Unless he was going to Jamaica because the government was going to Jamaica, I don't think he could do that. But there's no. He's not saying anything all that. All he's saying is he makes $75,000 in overtime. There's
no evidence, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. There's no evidence, not from what he's presenting.
So again, what I say is, if he's not offering, if he keep calling himself a journalist, let's just call himself a journalist. Okay, well, if you're a journalist, you need to have proof, because if you don't, you're really opening yourself up some legal problems.
Oh yes, but let's keep this going.
It didn't add up, and that's why I came here to Sergeant Brian Fahey's neighborhood to protest his tyranny and corruption, the lack of accountability, but also, as any good independent journalist would, to ask questions about this overtime allegation.
Yeah, Sean, do you realize that there are a lot of people out there who do work a lot of overtime because, well, there might be an issue with, let's say, lack of manpower shortages and all that? Yeah. I mean, you're questioning all this, but you're not actually looking into the reasons that he might be getting overtime? Or are you just pissed off because this guy kicked you out of a few buildings? Oh, yeah, that might be it. You're just butthurt about the whole thing. But let's carry on, shall we?
So
Wait.
All right, so we're getting ready to see something. Do you guys see that little yellow sign right there?
The one that says private driveway? Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that sign.
Yeah. And what does And what does it say under that?
I think let's keep this going because I think Blackheart does actually show a little bit more.
Wait, hold on a second. What was that jump cut all about right there? I mean, oh, wait a second. I see what it could be. Could it be that there's a sign right here? Oh, yeah, and you pass by the sign.
Yeah, right there, private property. I don't see anything underneath it, unfortunately. But I can see there's writing underneath it. I just don't see what it is. But private road, meaning that
it says private. It says private road, do not enter.
Okay, which is basically the same as no trespassing. Right.
Yes, and you know what? I have seen like other anti-fraud channels, including Cupcake. She did her video of this last night, and Blackheart Knight, the only person that pointed this out.
Yeah. So let's yeah. Private drive is not the same as, but if it says do not enter, it still says private drive. Do not enter. You're not.
Well, and on top of that, he's gone way past the curtilage. He's gone way past the easement. He's gone way past any reasonable place he can argue he's on some sort of public transit ground. And an easement is not to stand on. An easement is to ease through. That's where the name comes from. It is to move through. It is not to stand on. And that's what these guys don't get.
And if you're looking at this driveway, you don't even see the house. You have to go down the driveway.
Okay, can you do something for me? Rex to the Moon says in the chat says private drive does not mean no trespassing.
Yeah, it does.
Private drive is still private. It does.
That's exactly what that means.
If you don't live there, you don't go in there if you're not invited.
Yeah.
It's private.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be there.
Trespass law is very clear. They don't have to have don't trespass posted. If you are on private property without permission, you are trespassing, whether it's posted or not.
I mean, it could have been they even could have had a sign to say private drive, do not enter, or either private drive, dog patrols the ground, will bite you. Don't go on their property is what they're telling you.
Right, but yes, but like you look at this, common sense comes into play. I see this sign right here. I'm not going to go down that driveway unless I have a specific reason for doing so. And I'm going to get ready to add some more to this. Why, in my opinion, this is the stupidest thing that Sean Reyes could have done. So let's keep on going.
Once again, when you're having that confrontation with the officer, what does that sign say? Oh, it says private road. But wait a minute. Didn't you say that you saw no signs indicating private property or anything like that just a little while from now? Oh, yeah. You saw it. You just edited that part out because it wouldn't have fit your little narrative now, would it?
Always, you always want to be on the lookout for any no trespassing signs, restricted area signs. I don't see why there would be in this neighborhood here, but we just want to ask some questions.
You literally just passed by two of them.
Hopefully he answers us. It says here the Fahey's looks like we're in the right spot. Again, there aren't any no trespassing signs. We're just coming in peace to ask some questions.
Coming in peace.
Oh, I'm currently being recorded. His ring camera said. Hey, Sergeant Fahey, how are you? Nope, there is no posted sign. There's no problem. Do you have any?
Okay, doesn't matter if there's no posted, if there's no sign or not. He just been told get off the property. That means get off. Period. Does not matter what. Yes.
Yes, get off the property.
And
Rats to Moon. We're getting ready. Rats to Moon. We're getting ready to add some more information that you don't know yet, and I think I will change your mind here shortly why this was not a good idea for him. Well, let's keep going.
Let's go. Do you have any comments on the allegations that you are? I am moving. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are receiving? Couldn't even get the question out, ladies and gentlemen. He was so angry. Couldn't even get the question out. He says that there's no trespassing signs. Let's see. Let's see if there's no trespassing signs. What a coward. He can assault me in broad daylight while receiving taxpayer money. But the minute an independent journalist comes to his home, and he's probably going to try and get me unlawfully arrested now. As you can see, I moved back his camera that says you are currently being recorded. Film this guy. You're crazy. What do you think I'm doing, you psycho? You have a weapon in your hand? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't have any weapons. I'm a journalist. What do you think I'm doing, you psychopath?
Just hold on a second. Hold on one second.
What do you think I'm doing?
Now. Get off
What
my
do you think
property
I'm
right
doing?
now.
What do you think
Get
I'm
off my
doing?
property right now.
I'm off your property.
This is my property.
Well, do you see me
all
not
the way
moving?
to the cul-de-sac.
Calm down.
Get off
Get
my
that gun out
fucking
of your hand.
property.
Get that gun out of
Get
your
off
hand,
my
psycho.
fucking property.
Get that gun
I'm
out
a
of your hand,
goddamn
psycho.
Connecticut State
I
Trooper.
don't care who you are.
Trespassing
I don't
on
care
my
who you are.
fucking
I don't
property.
care who you
Get
are.
off my fucking
I don't care
property.
who you are.
Right now.
You spit in my
Get off my
face.
property
You're
right
going
now.
to jail now.
Get
Look
off
at
my
this.
property
Look
right
at this. He spit in my
Get off my
face.
property.
You say you're
right
going
in
to
my
jail.
face. I'm spitting as I'm talking to you.
No, you spit
Get
in
off
my
my
face.
property
You spit in
right
my face.
now.
You spit in my face.
Get off my
You're going
property
to jail.
right now.
I'm going.
Get off my property
I've been going.
right
Since the moment
now.
you told me.
Get off
That's
my
not how criminal
property
trespass
right
works,
now.
psycho.
Get
You're
off
a
my
psycho,
property
bro.
right
Look
now.
at the gun in his hand. This guy's
Goddamn
crazy.
right. I'm a Connecticut State
I don't
Trooper.
care shit who you
are
are.
trespassing on my property.
That doesn't matter.
You
You can't break
threatened
the
to
law.
kill me. You
Okay, right there. Right there. Let's really talk about this part. What did he just say? What did the state trooper say?
He said that you threatened to kill me on the internet.
Yes, and I am quite sure he has that the state trooper has received threats.
Now, are we sure? Now, are we
Yeah.
are we sure that Reyes directly threatened him, or was it one of his?
I don't
No,
know.
no, no.
I don't know who did it, truthfully.
Because he's not
No,
technically he's
no.
not responsible for what one of his idiot minions says.
But
No, the thing is though, his fan base have threatened
Right.
this guy, and if it wasn't to me, this is just my point of view. If it wasn't for Reyes keep bothering this man, they wouldn't be threatening
Well,
him.
Well, that may be, but he is not direct unless he instructed them exactly what to say, and then they went and said exactly what he told
But
them to say.
but-
He's not, at least legally, he's not responsible for that. Now, morally and ethically, yeah, probably, but
But
legally, he's not
but
responsible
But
for
then-
somebody else's.
okay, but let's put ourselves in the state trooper's mindset here. You're receiving threats.
But didn't they get
You're
Henry for
receiving
that?
threats on behalf of Sean Reyes, whether Sean Reyes directed it or not. Sean Reyes shows up to your front door after walking by a private road sign, after walking a good little distance to get to a house that you can't even see from the road.
It's two houses back there.
After receiving threats, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What would have happened in Florida? Sean Reyes would not have been walking off that property. Sean Reyes would.
Yeah, same thing in Texas. Yeah, same thing in Texas.
Because
Especially-
and here's the thing: you would,
especially in
and
Florida.
there would not have been a prosecution. Why? Because this man has received threats. He's probably got those threats documented. This man saw someone that's associated with those threats. It doesn't. Again, I will say this: Sean Reyes may not have directed anyone to make those threats, but they were making it on his behalf. And
Okay, and well,
in this
so,
trooper's mind,
Doc, let me jump in here because we're making
Yeah.
there's two distinctions here we need to be clear about.
mhm,
We're talking legally and then morally and ethically. Legally, Reyes probably he's not really encumbered with this because it's somebody else's words being said by somebody else, whether it's at his instigation or not. Now, ethically, morally, and everything else, yes, he's completely wrong. He's responsible. But legally, at least for that part of it, he's probably not.
But yeah, can I say something? Can I say something real
Certainly.
quick? Let's back up. Let's back up a little bit. Look at. When he walked up to the man's door, he was walking with a
Right.
pace. Now, when the man told him to get off
he's
his
taking his
property,
sweet time.
he took his sweet time to get off his property. Could you see how fast that Brian Fahey caught up with him?
Very quickly. Very, very
And-
quickly.
And one of the things that Fahey might have a problem with on this is that Connecticut is not a stand your ground state. In Connecticut, you have a
Right.
duty to reasonably retreat, and Fahey didn't even. He went in to get his gun. He did not go into retreat. So
No,
I'm
he
hoping
did
that
not.
doesn't come back to bite him because Reyes is completely wrong here. But there were some things going on
Yeah.
where Reyes manipulated it pretty well, like he always does. He
Yeah.
is a master manipulator.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, and that's kind of and what you just said is very true about Connecticut, and difference between Florida and Texas. You do someone shows up at your house that's been threatening you online, or you've been receiving threats on behalf of that person. In Florida, you can pull your gun and shoot them without saying anything. because you have a reasonable.
But he
it could
been
be if you have the documentation to show why you have a reasonable
Well,
fear of your life. Or,
that's not completely accurate. Every stand your ground law has an element of it where you have to try to de-escalate first. You can't just pop somebody because they happen to be standing on your porch. But you're right, you can defend your home. If they enter the house or they refuse to leave, then that's different.
well, yeah, and I'm just saying that Sean Reyes does not realize what game he is playing here. He really does not realize, and he does not realize he actually endangered his tournament.
Well, it's the same thing with all of them. I mean,
see,
they all seem to think the law is going to be on their side just because they're them, and it's not. I mean, these guys are way off base and they're wrong. What Reyes is completely wrong on this. I mean, totally. The press does not have a right to trespass to get a story. They just don't.
No, they don't. They don't have it.
no,
In
they
fact,
don't.
The press
They
does
don't.
not have any more rights than the next person.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And let's go.
You
and
just
let's go.
see what the thing is. See what the thing is. So like the officer gonna ask him, if you know you having issues with this guy, why would you come to his house just to ask one question? It doesn't make any sense because to me, you just causing problems.
Well, let's also go another step. Sean Reyes also knows that there's a problem between the two of them. He knows that sergeant does not want to deal with him. Why would you show up at that man's house? If you were doing a legit news story, wouldn't you just say, well, let me set up an appointment with his supervisor and meet with the supervisor at the police station?
Or you would have gone to the police station and tried to get him there. You don't go to a man's house that you've already had confrontations with. I mean, that's why having an editor is so important. The editor would never have allowed him to go to do that story himself. He would have at the very least insisted that he get somebody else to go do it.
Right, because there is a personal, there is a personal grievance between these two.
And he didn't have a history with this guy.
See, but
yes,
but still, if he would have sent somebody else to go do this, they still would have had to. But well, I can't go onto his property. It says private road, do not enter. So basically, this man doesn't want anybody on the property. That's not supposed to be there.
If you don't have,
well, if you notice how he answers the door, initially he's very polite. He says, "Hey, how can I help you?" Then he realizes who it is.
Right, exactly, and that's when he's wanting him gone immediately. So yes. Now I do have one little problem. I've watched this 2 or 3 different versions of this. I don't agree with him intentionally spitting on Sean Reyes.
Yeah, no, he should not have done that. That is
no, that is absolutely wrong.
No, I don't agree with that either.
Now I can see, him going, speaking and spit flying out. Oh well, that happens. Maybe Sean Reyes shouldn't have been there in the first place. Yeah,
What Sean Reyes should have done was stayed out there in a cul-de-sac on the sidewalk. That's where he should have stayed at.
Yes, that's where he should have stayed at. Or if you really want to ask the questions, set up appointments.
He could have waited for him. He could have waited for him to come down the driveway, and he's gonna have to leave eventually. That's what a lot of them do, is wait at the end of the driveway to try to get him interviewed.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of press doesn't even enter the property unless they make arrangements prior. If you really think about it, I mean, they will not come on the property until they have some form of permission from the homeowner.
Now, something you said earlier is very important. The press does not have any special privileges.
Right.
They just don't.
No.
Now, they do, once you get to court, they do have some privileges about not revealing their sources and that kind of thing, but not at this stage of the game. No, nothing.
No, right. Exactly. So,
honestly, I don't think he have any sources.
That occurred to me.
That's just my.
Yeah.
I don't think so too. I mean, all that could have been grabbed by FOIA. This is how much he made last 3 or 4 or 5 years. This is his base salary, that kind of thing. And again,
Because you want to know what? Because you want to know, a real journalist wouldn't go into this. If he was supposed to be a real journalist, he went into this already one-sided.
Yeah, but
Because
one thing that occurred to me as I was watching this is that if he were an actual journalist, he has a pretty good story because it sounds like there are some shenanigans going on. There's something about that much overtime that really sends up a red flag for me anyway. How does a desk sergeant get that much overtime? I mean, what's he doing? But with that said, Reyes has already blown the story for everybody. No one's going to be able to do anything with it now.
Right.
But the thing is also, if I may just real quick, the other thing is you have to understand is Sean isn't a hey guy, I know I just popped in. Sorry,
where did he come from?
but Sean has the intelligence and the knowledge because we all know Sean Paul Reyes is not an idiot. We know he's actually a very intelligent person that if he wanted to put out legitimate news, he could and he would. So he actually, I believe, could put out actually a thorough investigation. But
I'm sure, yeah,
he's good. Condescending, this invasion of privacy, this confrontational manner, just to get a reaction from people on the internet. So that's what this is. I mean, if he wanted to get that information, as you said, David, yes, I do believe that there is a story there. But now no one's gonna be able to report.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So therefore, if there was any kind of shenanigans going on, well, guess what? You're not going to catch it now.
Yeah. Good to see everybody. Give me 1 second. Right. Be back in a second.
Okay.
I think you're right though. Fahey spitting on the guy, he really screwed himself up on that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so as well. And I don't think he should have gotten in his face like he did.
It's hard to blame the guy for doing that though. This Reyes has been bugging him for 2 years now. I mean, it's enough.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's been a while. It's been a while with Reyes. So
what is that?
Will, are you shooting someone?
It's Will. I'm going to turn his mic off. Okay. All right.
And it's like I said, it's just the fact he's gonna get to the point when he says he's gonna say, I don't like him and he doesn't like me. I'm like, what journalist says that? If you're a journalist, in air quotations, that wouldn't even.
I know a lot of journalists say that, but they say it off camera.
Right.
Right. They'll say it on camera.
Here's the thing: if you already know that there's a personal grievance between you and this individual, you do not go back to you don't go to their house. You don't conduct an interview. Will, you have some kind of background noise, and that's why I muted you.
But Reyes should have gone to the police station to do this, not to the house. That's the main thing.
What is that?
Trying to kill me online.
Right? No,
get off my fucking property right now.
A liar.
Right now.
Look, see the
get
big
off my
billboard
property.
truck? It's all being recorded.
I don't care.
It's all being.
Get
I know you
off
don't
my
care.
property.
You don't face any
right now.
consequences.
Get off my property right now. This is the biggest mistake you ever made.
No, it's not.
This is the biggest mistake you ever made.
No,
get
it's
off my property right now.
It's not the biggest mistake.
Get off my property right now.
It's not the biggest mistake.
Get off
you
my
spit on my face.
I spit in your face.
You disgusting.
I'm spitting on you. I am yelling at you to get off my property right now.
I'm off your property. Now what? Now what?
Sean, are you so thuggish? Are you so moronic? Are you so friendly-minded that you don't believe in?
Okay.
One, I don't know why you guys kept muting me. Number one. Number two.
Oh, because you had some kind of noise background. That's why I muted you.
Oh, there's noise. Oh, I just went upstairs and anyway. But look, this is what is being accomplished here? That's my whole question. Like, what is this? Like
Sean Paul Reyes raising funds.
But when is?
I think that's kind of hitting the nail on the head.
For me, when is enough? When have you crossed the line? And how exactly does his audience think that this is appropriate? That's what drives me insane. Can someone watch this and say, "Yeah, good move"?
Mm-hmm. And it's really rich of Sean Reyes to do this. When just a year and a half ago, he had a problem when Nassau County Sheriff showed up on his property. And he went kind of complaining and said they was on his private property.
What's going to end up happening? I'm sorry. What's
That's
going to
when
end up happening with Sean? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's when they tried to allegedly run him off the road, and his Tesla didn't make any recordings, considering how many cameras the Tesla's
Right.
got. Yeah.
And this is a
And
guy who
And
records
Tesla's
himself
got like
burping.
4 or 5 cameras around it.
Yeah, and you know that always seems so hinky to me. This is a guy who records himself burping. Yeah, he didn't manage to get a recording of that at all.
Hey, Rats, check your email.
Well, can I? Sean Paul Reyes is one of these days is going to be treated the same as who? I think his name was Matthew Reardon. Remember how Matthew Reardon was stalking a prosecutor's wife, and he got
Yep.
or the mayor. I think the mayor's.
The
Mayor's
Yeah, he
mayor.
was
wife.
The
stalking
mayor.
the mayor because the mayor's husband represented him in trial, and they ended up banning him from City Hall, from all the municipal buildings, and even an entire county. Sean is getting to that point, and to go to someone's house like this, like how long was Sean in jail for? Do we
Only
know?
about 5 hours, according to what I've heard. He was able to get bail.
That's
Yeah,
You
it.
mean
was
for
able to
this
get bail.
incident or for his whole life? That was one thing
No,
I kept
for
cracking
this
up
incident.
about.
For this incident, but he hadn't gone to trial yet. It was he was arrested. He made bail, and he left.
Well, that was one thing about this whole video that just made me want to rip the phone and throw it out the window. Was that I don't break the law. I don't break the law. Really? Well, what was all that prison time for armed robbery about, or attempted armed robbery, or whatever it was? I mean,
So what was he charged
You-
with?
this time voyeurism, trespass after warning,
and
and
disturbing
something
the
else,
peace or
and disturbing disorderly
disorderly
conduct.
conduct.
And here's
Oh man, all slaps on the wrist that'll get him a fine and
Yeah,
community
but do you
And
really
service.
want a voyeurism conviction on your record, even if it is just a Class B misdemeanor? I mean, who's going to hire you with a voyeurism record on it?
Well, no one's gonna hire him and no one's gonna hire these idiots with track
Well,
records
that's
anyway. Why do
true.
you think DMA is suing
The,
everyone? 'Cause DMA can't get
the,
a job.
the one who I feel sorry for is his cameraman. Do you really think his cameraman asked for that?
DMA, DMA,
his
I don't
camera
know
is
enough about. Well, I don't know enough about DMA to make a comment one way or the other. But I mean, does he have that bad a criminal record? I wasn't aware of that.
oh yeah, DMA does.
Does he?
He got
Okay, I didn't
done
know that.
for
yeah, and Sean
filming
Reyes
in.
has a criminal record as well. So
Well, I knew he was in
Sure.
prison for
This
something.
also put
But yeah, okay.
yeah,
this also put me in the mind of that auditor that Lucid Dream covered, Auditor Mapton. He was harassing this deputy sheriff so far as putting the home address out there, harassing his wife and everything, until he had to get an order of protection against him, and then then a restraining order.
mhm,
Oh yeah, I do
yeah.
remember that. That's
And
ugly.
let's welcome to the stage, Rats to the Moon.
Can you hear me?
G'day, Rat.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Excellent. Oh man,
Yeah.
I haven't done it in
So
so long. I didn't know if it would work.
well, it's like riding a bicycle. If you've done it enough times,
Yeah,
you never know.
gonna leave that one alone.
Unlike Will, it's almost falling off a bicycle.
All right, but let's get this
Hey,
back up.
Doc,
Let's get
just
going
before you
just a little bit more on this.
Doc,
Well,
just before you start up,
I'm amazed Mr. Thomas hasn't made a joke about me being around when they invented bicycles. So
Well,
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna mess with you
I
tonight.
mean,
I'm not gonna
to
bother
be
you
fair,
tonight.
David, you are at Kitty Hawk.
well, that's
Going
true.
through
That's true.
going through a reunion, but what we don't know is what kind of, you say family reunion, but is it the Wrights brothers?
It's my family reunion. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll
Hey,
keep on.
Doc,
We keep-
just before you
yes.
start up, thanks for having me up here. I've got to go. I'm going to start getting ready for work, so I will catch you guys on the next one.
All right, Sam Dinkin, man. Take
but
care.
yeah, thanks for having me up here. I'll see you around later.
Okay,
Bye,
yeah,
all.
and just to let you know, we are doing Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Time.
All right.
Have a good day at
Thank you.
work.
Yeah, have a good one, buddy. Take care.
Bye, all.
All right. Okay, so let's keep this going.
Private property whatsoever. I mean, clearly you walked onto a man's private property. No matter what that is, if you're not welcome on there, that's trespassing. And as far as I'm concerned, you deserve the charges that you got out of this and then some. Now let's go ahead and skip to the part where the cops show up and he starts to play the victim in this matter.
I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not doing anything. He just spit in my face.
Get over here.
Oh, I'm
Really?
gonna
Bunch of crap.
Yeah. What was that? I thought I heard Mr. Thomas saying something.
No, when he said I'm not breaking laws, I'm like, you clearly trespass on somebody's property
See,
that you're
I
not supposed to do
disagree
that.
with that because everyone has a curtilage and it goes to the front door of the home.
No, it does not with that. But no, sorry, you're wrong on that one. If it's posted and the curtilage only goes a certain distance from the road, even if the house is, I mean, on those layback houses, that's why they do
That's
it
why,
that way.
like, for example, Jehovah's Witness are able to go to a door, even down a long private drive.
I'm
Well,
not sure. I'll have to look that
no,
one up.
not really.
Now, if he had a no,
If a Jehovah, if you
if he had a
come,
no trespassing sign up, I would 100% agree with y'all.
She may be right.
Okay.
but technically he does when it says private road, do not
Okay, so
enter.
did it say do
You
not?
don't go down that
Did
road.
it say do not enter?
Yes,
It
right
did?
under it says private road, do not enter.
Because private
Yes,
road means to
it's
me that
because
it is not a through road or a street. It means it's a driveway
Okay,
and
guys, here's the
access to
Connecticut.
get home.
Here's the Connecticut law. Curtilage refers to the area immediately surrounding a dwelling that is considered part of the home itself for legal purposes, including
Okay.
search and seizure laws, self-defense laws. The area enjoys the same Fourth Amendment protections as the house, meaning law enforcement generally cannot search it without a warrant or a recognized exception to the warrant requirement. It has nothing to do with trespassing law.
They have
That
the
has to
right
do
to
with the cops
approach.
not being. No, it has to do with legal protections for Fourth Amendment purposes. It has nothing to do with trespass. That's what I thought. I wanted to look it up and be sure.
Well, perhaps let me ask you this. And let's just focus on this scenario, not anything else. What we got going on the screen. If two individuals has a history like these guys, and there is a history between them
I
where
know the history,
they're not
yes.
what. Yeah. They have a history between each other. Would you, if you were one of these individuals, would you show up at the other person's home uninvited?
So
For what?
when I
For
was
any
saying
reason?
about what I was saying about the curtilage, I believe is correct. Anyone can walk up to a door and be asked then to leave. And yes, they should leave. However, Sean is one of the reasons why I am turning against the 1A community to some degree, because he knows, just like I do, that was a stupid move.
And that's kind of what.
To me, he went there to antagonize.
Yes, he did.
Of course he did.
See, but he has a lawsuit going on with this guy already before this. He just dismissed this lawsuit now because you showed up to the man's house. That's almost like you suing McDonald's because they spilled hot coffee on you, but you're gonna go back the next day and order hot coffee again. You don't do that. If you got a lawsuit with this man, you stay away from him.
Well, that's if there's a restraining order. That's not necessary.
Well, restraining order, even without a restraining order, if there is a conflict between two individuals, the adult smart thing to do is you don't go into his neighborhood. You don't go to his house. It doesn't matter if you have a news story to ask or any other reason. If you have to conduct any kind of business with that individual, well, you go get someone else to be your face.
Between these two is not normal.
No, it's not normal.
So if I have a lawsuit going against someone, doesn't necessarily mean that I should stay away from them. But however, this situation, he does have a lawsuit against a man for being, I guess, handsy. You could say Fahey has already put his hands on Sean.
Yeah, he
and
has.
To me, going to his house is begging for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, and hey, let me throw something in here. I was just looking this. I want to do a little research because I wasn't sure about how the Connecticut law worked. Connecticut General Statute 53A 181D is what they should have charged if they didn't. I'm not sure if what you said they charged him for disorderly conduct, right, or breach of the peace.
Well, we'll go.
This is what. Well, hold on. This is what they should have charged. Or they should have charged felony harassment. This is how it's defined. Felony harassment occurs when in a course of conduct, and they can change the charges still, but Course
Yeah.
of conduct means two or more acts, including but not limited to acts in which a person directly, indirectly, or through a third party by any action, method, device, or means, including but not limited to electronic or social media, follows, lies in wait for, monitors, observes, surveils, threatens, harasses, communicates about or with, or sends unwanted gifts to a person or interferes with a person's property. That's exactly what Reyes did.
And yeah, it could be added on. I would imagine. I don't think they did charge him with a felony harassment yet.
Although I have to admit, the voyeurism charge was pretty creative. that was different.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna explain it. They're gonna explain the voyeurism.
Yeah.
One. It will make sense when they
Yes.
explain it. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna stick
Yeah.
though.
Oh, I think it will. I mean, if you look at how it's defined in the Connecticut law, it's pretty clear. He was engaged in voyeurism, at least as they define it.
Okay. Well,
that would have never occurred to me.
Well, let's keep this going.
Take him in a second, okay?
For what? I haven't broken the law. No. But do you have reasonable articulable suspicion I committed a crime? What is it? What is it? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So what is the RAS? The RAS is trespassing. Okay. Here we go.
It's criminal trespassing. Yes.
Yes. So
no matter if that sign was there or not, you were still on his private property.
Yes, but he was leaving. He was in the process of. You have to give him a chance to leave.
But he wasn't leaving. He was arguing. He was walking backwards and arguing. He wasn't leaving.
Backing up, going down the driveway. See,
no, that's not leaving. Leaving is turning around and leaving. That's like during the Persian Gulf War, they got in this big semantic argument about the difference between retreating and fighting while you're walking backwards. It's the same thing.
I'm a journalist. I knocked on the door and asked questions. No, I have no weapons on me. We have a camera of mass destruction. I'm putting my camera down.
Don't move until I get backup units. You can put it away.
What's your name?
Officer Romansky, it says right here. No, just stay right
here. You pulled out a gun on me for knocking on the door?
You're on his property.
I'm allowed to go on his property and knock on the door. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to learn the law, man.
No.
I'm a journalist. No, you got to learn the law.
Let's just
You're not.
And again, I'm going to just say this: if he's a journalist, then I'm a talk show host.
Well, what is a journalist?
Well, he's
it's not what he's doing. That is what he's doing is not journalism.
Journalism, no, it's
not. You
not.
Can't pick and choose like that. A journalist is someone who presents information.
Journalism is defined in every state's law. Look it up. I don't know what the Connecticut definition is, but we ought to look that up and find out.
If that's your definition of a journalist, that means he has to be accurate all the time.
No, he doesn't.
And Sean Reyes is not always accurate.
That's not true.
Yes, he does.
It doesn't. Because you got NBC, and CBS lying to you every night.
Okay, well, you know what? This one, Rats to the Moon, may be right. The Connecticut law defines a journalist as someone generally engaged in or involved in gathering, writing, or supervising the gathering and dissemination of news to the public. That's an awfully broad definition. This includes individuals working for traditional news organizations like newspapers, magazines, and broadcast stations, as well as those involved in online news dissemination, including those through social media. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So by definition, by Connecticut's definition, he's a journalist. But we can all agree that he's not behaving within the journalistic ethics.
He's not behaving with integrity.
Yes.
We are all journalists. We are, every single one of us are journalists. You know, I've got a YouTube channel. You've got a YouTube channel. That makes you a journalist. If you're presenting information that is of interest to the public. And I mean,
although it's going to be interesting,
come on, Doc, you're here because I'm here on your channel because I find it interesting.
Well, Rats to the Moon's right as far as that goes, but there are 3 cases coming up the pike right now. If the Supreme Court takes any of them, it could radically redefine journalism.
Well, you know what? She's right. You could. When I said when you have to be accurate, you know what? I am wrong because I'm just gonna say this. Maybe a lot of people may not agree with me, but it is a certain station that did had to pay out $787 million for lying.
Yes.
So
Mr. Thomas, there's a big difference between intentionally lying and being inaccurate. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
So you have to. So if you're gonna be a journalist and you don't have to be truthful about it, and you want to, like Reyes says, he has, all this information about this guy in overtime, but he doesn't put out any proof about it. And come to find out, it's all lies. You better be careful because you can suffer legal ramifications from
That's
it.
absolutely true.
You have a
Yeah.
you
Yes. So
Yes.
so that's why you use the words ledge,
Absolutely.
ledge,
Right.
that kind of thing. And you never do a person that says that this is what's taking place. You say something like ledge, but we keep on
And
going.
even in the implication of reporting it, and that's where Reyes screwed up. I mean, he may have used the word alleged, but his tone, his entire focus was heavily implying, well, we all know you're stealing the money with the
Yeah.
overtime thing. And
Right. Yeah.
yes.
it's called truth of implicative truth, and that's one thing that journalists have to be careful about.
Allowed to ask questions.
Sure.
I am.
So let me tell you why we're here.
What's wrong with you? I'm not doing anything. I have no weapons on me. I have nothing. You couldn't stop. He has the weapon.
Okay. Now let me explain something to you. Let me explain
Yeah, no weapons. He has the weapon.
Recording. Okay. So here's the deal. So here's the disconnect here. Here's the difference. So we get a call from him. He calls 911. Hold on.
I'm not going to speak. I'm letting you speak.
Okay. When you call 911 and say you're
I'm
in
going to record,
disturbance
okay?
with somebody, we come code 3, like my lights are on.
You wouldn't do this for a citizen.
Yes, I would. We
No,
do
you
it
wouldn't. You're doing it because he's a state trooper.
No, no. we do
That's
it for
why. You're doing it because
citizens.
he's a state trooper.
Okay. We do it for citizens every single day. Okay.
Not like this.
Yes, 100%, all the time. If we think there's an active disturbance, then we respond code 3, which means lights and sirens, and we're in an emergency response.
Do you see the spit on my face?
I don't.
You don't see the spit on my face? Well, I have it on camera. He spit in my face. I want him arrested. He spit in my face.
Right.
On camera.
Okay.
I want you to lock him up. He spit in my face. You understand that? If I spit in your face, what would happen to me?
Sean, we got a couple of different scenarios right here. You're comparing apples to oranges at this point.
Oh, Sean Reyes.
If you spit in the face of a police officer in the course of their duties, of course they would arrest you. Now, you are on the private property of that police officer. He has every right to get you off there. Spitting in your face is the least he could do at that point. He has every right to defend himself on his private property. He doesn't know what you're there for. I mean, by all accounts, you probably did threaten him. So it's only natural, you pussy. Now, I'm not going to force you guys to sit through this whole thing. I mean, he's just going to whine, cry, and complain. So let's just go ahead and get to the point where they start bringing the charges out, shall we?
Okay, so there's a lot. The NCR news video was like 37 minutes. This one's 19 minutes. This is why I chose to go with this one, was because it's a little shorter, but it still had a good gist of it. But to go into, I think what would be good is if it let Sean and Bahia meet in the middle of a ring and let them just fight it out. I paid money for that.
One thing that's bugging me more and more about this is I'm learning a
I'd
little
pay
bit more
money
about
for
it.
that
Is that
too.
Reyes, yeah, I would too. That'd be a big ticket. But I'm wondering. Reyes should have. I mean, it sounds like he may be onto something with the actual story. I mean, this, with the actual overtime, because you have to wonder what's going on there. But I mean, how does anyone cover this now? How does anyone actually investigate this in any way that's going to have any meaning?
They can't. Because if there is something going on, well, guess what? They're starting to cover up. I mean, I hate to go down this rabbit hole, and let's not go too far, but it's kind of like this whole Epstein thing. There's no evidence. There's no. Well, you had 4 years of one administration that probably did not want anything to come out, and who didn't say that there was not someone being authorized to destroy as much evidence before the new administration took over. We don't know. I don't think we will ever truly 100% know the truth on that, because there was, in my mind, a lot of cover up. And I think at this point, Reyes has basically showed his cards, and when someone who will practice integrity in their reporting to actually start going in and look at it, it's not going to be there for them to find. And and
on top of that, anyone who accuses, somebody's going to say, well, if you recheck into that, it sounds like there might be something illegal going on. Yeah, but that's what that Reyes guy covered. He never gets it right, and this is going to completely. I mean, it's going to lose all credibility. I don't know.
And that's true too. And now that you're exposing this, if there's any documentation, people that's involved is going to start hiding it. So even the inspector general or the actual government auditors that would go in and look at the books may not even be able to find it. So,
And it's a shame because Sean. It seems like Sean actually did some good reporting here on that part. I mean,
yeah, based upon what he has told us, if any of that is true, he may have actually messed up a legit good story and an investigation that needs to come out, comes to light. All he did was tainted that little thing to the point that no one's going to really look at it or take it serious.
15 minutes later.
Hey, sir, how are you? So is there any updates on,
So why was the officer scratching his tail? I'm just curious.
I have no idea.
Why was what?
Why was the police officer scratching his buttocks? Now, I'm going to just say this. We're going to have a little joke on this one. This video didn't show it, but one of the police officers actually started talking to the cameraman, and Reyes says, "Oh, he's just a cameraman." So from now on, we're going to call the cameraman Justin. Justin Cameraman.
No, he has a name. It's in the police report, and he's just 20 years old. So
well, and part of
so we don't even know if
we're going to call him Justin because that's what Reyes says his name is. It's Justin.
Well, the way the conspiracy laws work, he's also, whether he likes it or not, he walked onto the curtilage as well. He walked onto he trespassed, and if they're going to try to get him with that, he is a co-conspirator.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because the kid really didn't do anything except point the camera.
He pointed the camera and he followed someone that doesn't. I mean, that's going to get him in trouble. And he's lucky. That's all that had happened to him.
See, that's why I said I feel sorry for that guy because he may not have a police record, but he had one now.
Well, that assumes he gets convicted, which is, I think, in this case for him, a big assumption. I can't imagine those charges are going to stick with him. With Reyes, yeah, maybe, but with a cameraman, probably not.
Yeah, he'll probably end up going state witness to keep from getting in trouble.
Just to say, oh, he's just a cameraman. I'm like, really, Sean?
Yeah. So we're going to refer to Cameron from now on as Justin, since that's how Sean introduced him.
Because obviously I want to press charges for him spitting in my face that I showed the sergeant here on camera. So what's going to happen with that?
So we went through the assault statute specifically, and there's nothing that specifically states that spitting on somebody is an assault unless it caused you physical pain. The only thing that assault.
Okay, so at this point, I would, if I was Reyes, I'd be going, "Oh, my face hurts from the spit." Oh, but hey, okay.
That better be some
people, I don't know if you guys remember, a good number of years ago, somebody spit on someone and they had HIV, and that was called attempted murder. So don't tell me.
Right, and I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I agree, Rats. I was very surprised that was not an element of assault. That really surprised me.
Absolutely. But because of something one of y'all said on the panel that he had a right to protect his property, and that might fall underneath that.
Yeah, and I mean, in a sense, you could say he was de-escalating since he had a gun in his hand. In a sense, it's spitting on someone worse than shooting him. So, I mean, he might have been trying to de-escalate. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
But with his case with the gun, he never raised the gun up at Sean, though. He just had it.
Yeah, but he made a very significant effort to tell Sean, "Hey, I have a gun."
Yeah, and that's a major no-no in Florida.
The only thing I would hate about that is, I'm sorry.
I was saying that's a major no-no in Florida. You don't present a firearm until you're really going to use the firearm. In other words, that is the last. You don't say, "Look, I got a gun. Get away from my house." You can't do that. You can go to jail for that. But if you present it, you have to be ready to use it. Go ahead, Raz.
I forgot.
See, but the thing I don't understand.
Mr. Thomas, is your name Rats?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I forgot what I was going to say anyway. So go ahead.
Sorry. No. But I do have a question for Rats, though. It's this. When you say, they're journalists, they're all journalists. My question is, if they're journalists, And people ask them, okay, but where are you gonna post my image on? Why won't they tell them? I'm like, if you're a journalist, I would think you would want people to see this so-called story that you posting. I would think you would want people to see it.
Well, that makes him a bad journalist.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because, we
A
don't
lot of
see
time,
things that happens once they turn off the camera. But there's a lot of
no.
them that say, I will give you my site whenever I'm done. Not my site, my channel. I will give you my
A
channel
lot of
when I'm
times,
done.
a lot of times, especially the people that voice, "Hey, I do not want to be on your show. I don't want to be on your YouTube video." They don't want to do that because they know that that's going to be instant privacy strike if they actually did use that person's image. And instead of just trying to blur the image or what have you, they just rather not say, cause conflict, and then of course YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. You have to know specifically. You almost have to, unless you're watching that genre, you have to know specifically who that individual is to find that video.
I mean, yes, and it's another thing. It's another thing I brought up. I never seen a journalist or heard a journalist ask for donations to keep this going.
Okay.
I never seen Walter Cronkite ask for any
Okay,
donations.
so that's a good point, but I think is okay. Donations helps to because they're not really receiving funds per se, not like CBS, NBC from advertising. Reyes may be getting some money from monetization. He might be getting some money from some advertising that he might get, but he's not getting that much money from those areas. So yes, he's asking for the donations so he can do more. Okay, I know a lot of legit, well, a lot of journalists, a lot of people who practice journalism in a integrity way, that if they did not have funds coming in from donations, they would not be able to do what they're doing. So,
and didn't they say we need donations for some of it usually say donations to pay for lawyers or pay the bail. I'm like, I never heard journalists say anything like that. So again, how are they journalists when they asking their viewers, their subscribers, to donate to them so they won't go to jail or have an attorney?
All journalists have subscribers. I mean, you subscribe to CNN or the newspaper or whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but CNN has their own attorneys.
Well, what does that have to do with the price?
I think you have to realize if you're like a one-man show trying to do some journalistic reporting, and again, I want to stress ethical journalistic reporting. You have to get funds some way, somehow, to kind of cover your costs to bring stories. It does cost a little bit of money to do YouTube. Yes, there is free ways of doing it, but
I'd like to address what Stefan is saying.
Well, what did Stefan say?
He said, first of all, he said, "Come on, rats," or something like that, or "rats, please," because I guess what I said earlier about that a lot of them do tell you the channel whenever they're done. I've heard them say it. You can go to some of the. I'd have to filter through a bunch of videos to find one, but yes, they do say it. But let me scroll back up and see what he said. Reyes is making over $200,000 a year. Well, good for him. Yeah. I wish my channel was making $200K a year. I would very much like to be able to get to a point where I could grift.
Yeah. Well, like I said, and that's my kind of point I was making to Mr. Thomas is that I don't like to ask for money myself. I do have an Cash App app. Every now and then I might throw it up on my screen just so people might just, if they decide that they would like to help out, they can there it is. I do also have a store which there it goes right there. It's just, but that being said,
but can I say one more thing? Is I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for the First Amendment. I'm all for for them to go out, I guess, record, but do it the right way. I'm all for that. I'm like when you want to go say go say we want to find a story, go do this story at the DMV. I'm like, what are you gonna find at the DMV? Okay,
I'll tell you what you're gonna find out.
what's long lines, long wait times. That's all you're gonna. What you gonna get at the post office? If you want to do something, go to if you want to find some real journalists. You want to do journalists. Go to your congressional office. Go to your state representative. Go find stories about them. Believe me, there's a lot of stuff that's going on today. You could find you could do stories on that.
Hey,
you could go to your state capitol and you could record there and you find make appointments, talk to the see can you talk to your state senator or your congressman or US senator. There's ways you could there's stories you could do this. There's a lot of ways you can do this.
I've talked to my Congress people and I have gotten nowhere.
And I'm going to also go.
That's where you keep going back. You keep going back.
Okay, but so let's just 1 second though. Let's go with another. You talk about the post office and DMV. One of these excuses these guys I've heard these guys say is we've got reports about such behavior or misbehaving or corruption or whatever, and that's why I'm here to record. And I first I call that BS because he probably never got any real reports. But second, okay, let's just say they did. Okay, if I was actually after something like that I know for a fact that something occurred on such day at such time, and there's cameras in there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to void those cameras. And to make sure.
Where are the cameras? In what place are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about it like in DMV or
in the DMV
post
cameras.
office.
Because there's not any in the post office.
Sure there are.
Something.
There's
Post
not
office.
mine.
Is
And
that-
the reason
Okay, not all of them. Okay.
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
Now you need to point that out to them.
They're supposed to have cameras in the post office.
They're not in mine, and it's because they can catch the addresses of their customers. Therefore, they're not allowed to have it. And I'm in Florida.
Okay. All right. But okay, this is in most cases, and obviously it's not in all cases, but in most cases, if I had that little bit of information that hey, such thing happened on such day at this such time, I think someone needs to look at it. Now, here's how I would do this. I would for you maybe 3 or 4 random days. Just say, okay, I need this day between this time and this time, this day between this time and this time, this day between this time and this time, and this day between this time and this time, just so I can compare to see what your staff does. Now, hopefully, they're not realizing what I'm doing is I'm actually looking for one particular day at one particular time. I'm trying to camouflage that. So hopefully that somebody's
Right.
going, oh, yeah, sorry, the camera didn't record at that time. Or I realize that I'm trying to catch something else. Now, why did I say that? If the employees know, the employees already know those cameras exist, but they will continue to behave the way that they're supposed to behave, way they're going to behave because they're used to them being around. Well, you bring in another camera that's not part of the state or part of the agency, then they're going to go on defensive, they can go on guard. And at that point, all you're doing is causing a reaction. You're not trying to get a story. You're trying to be the story. And that is where the problem comes in with guys like Reyes. He's not trying to get a story. He's trying to be the story.
That's probably true, yeah.
Yeah. He knew what he was doing when he went to Fahey's house. He knew that would cause such a problem that the cops were going to be called. I mean,
he made the regional news up there. I think he made the Connecticut stations, and I'm pretty sure he made the Boston news too.
Well, this is not his first time being arrested in
And keep
Connecticut.
in mind, this is not a guy from Connecticut. He is from New York, so he had to drive a little bit to get there.
I'm not sure if he made it on. I'm not sure if he
Nassau
made the
County.
Boston news. I know that I saw a story from one of the Connecticut stations.
Yeah. So let's keep this going.
And that's under the exception of if you spit on an officer, then that is when bodily fluids become involved.
So he could spit on me in my face and in my mouth, and that's not against the law?
Circumstances,
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm saying that it doesn't really fit the assault charge.
So what happened if I spit on you?
Well, then you would get arrested because I'm an officer. You can't spit on an officer because in the assault on an officer charge, bodily fluids are included.
So there is no charge. You're telling me, as a sergeant of the Groton Police Department, you're telling me there is no charge for a grown man spitting in another grown man's
Telling you
face.
that it doesn't fit assault.
Well, what does it fit? Isn't that your job to find out? What does it fit? Like what crime it is?
Breach of peace, but you're on his property. You interacted. You engaged the interaction. I mean,
So if it's a breach of peace, arrest him for a breach of peace.
well, that's the other issue that we're going down right now. Is you guys are also in violation of a breach of peace,
No.
as well as.
I mean, take us
voyeurism.
both then.
Yes,
take us both then. It's not
you are,
voyeurism.
sir.
It's not voyeurism to knock on somebody's door. That's not.
It is. If he
it's
has a
not.
reasonable expectation of privacy and you invade on his curtilage,
Nope.
and you're recording.
You're wrong.
him-
But do it. Then I will gladly go take the ride. Arrest us both for a breach
All
of
right,
peace.
well, then turn around. For
Wait
me.
a minute, hold it. Wait a minute.
what you
Wait a
gotta do,
minute.
man.
Lose that one.
That's another thing. The officer just said, well, you was on his property, so he has the expectation. He has the expectation of privacy on his property, and you was recording on his private property.
But he wasn't.
Now remember, hey
And then
guys,
let's go a
remember
step further.
he has a reasonable expectation of privacy, not an absolute one, but yeah, for these purposes, yeah, and I mean that's where I think they got him with the voyeurism thing because he was recording. You know, they can make a case that he was recording through windows or recording in places he shouldn't have been or whatever. I can't see that voyeurism thing holding up, but who knows? It might.
And
Did he
here's
put the
another thing
camera
I
to
do
the
want to
window?
point out. You cannot even.
I don't know.
No, he
No,
did not.
Okay.
No.
see, but
No,
that's why.
Cameraman never actually approached the door. But the thing I do want to point out is you don't even see the house from the road. Every time we face the camera that direction, you never actually could see the house. So yes, there is that house was done that way so they could have some privacy.
That's that's what I said earlier. I'm like, I don't think that voyeurism charge is gonna hold up, but I know for sure that trespassing charge probably hold up.
Oh yeah, I do believe so too.
Do what you got to do. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
All that way.
He didn't even do anything. He didn't even do anything. He was just recording.
Yep. That's why you're.
And yeah, he was just recording, and he was just recording because you put him up to it. He was part of the issue here, where he knew it or not, he was part of the issue. And I guess that's the cameraman right there. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. That's the cameraman.
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy right there. I don't think. He's probably saying, "Oh my God, what did this did to me?"
I wouldn't be either because I would say I didn't sign up for this.
Hang on, sorry. All right.
I said I wouldn't be happy either because like I would have told him, look, Sean, I did not sign up for this. If I knew you was going onto this man's property, I wouldn't have signed up for this. That's what I would have said. That's just me.
Yeah, and one of the things that's interesting here is how in that last part you see the old thing that most all of these guys do, the laws work for me but not for thee. I want him thrown in jail. I want him arrested. I want this. I want that. Sean, you're doing the exact same thing he did. If it's good for him,
They
it's
know
good
they're
for
going to
you.
get arrested at some point.
Well, yeah, and let's keep this in mind that this whole incident would not have occurred if Sean did not show up at his house.
Because he spit in my face. Are you going to take him to jail?
I'm gonna deal with that after we do this.
I don't care, man. Because this is ridiculous.
Well, obviously we're gonna bring these into property. Do you want us to lock up your truck and obviously make sure nobody steals it?
Well, how stupid is, stupid does. And Sean, that was one of the biggest and dumbest things you could have done right there. Walk onto somebody's private property and antagonize him like that. Now, let's just go ahead and jump to his cry fest afterwards, shall we?
What an injustice. First and foremost, fellow patriots, I would like to thank all of you who joined me for my live stream yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I will leave a link to it in the description right below the like button. And I have to thank each and every one of you who have stood by me,
So
supported
just send
me,
me
and
money.
donated to help me
Send me
fight some lawful
money.
charges.
Yep, the grift's starting. And here's the thing: I don't like. It seems like when they start grifting, it's usually after they get arrested, so that's something that they know have to know you come on someone's property that does not want you there. Sean knows he does not want him out on his property. He does not want him on his property. But you don't even have to have a notice. It's the person with half a brain would know that. Sean,
You know what? Wait a minute. I want to answer this question. This I have anything what we just talked about. Stefan St. Germain said, Mr. Thomas, you have a very special accent. May I ask where you from? Well, let me just answer that real quick. I am from South Florida, but my father's side is from South Carolina, so I probably have a little bit of a southern accent.
so wait a minute. Are you a Gamecock?
No, I'm a Florida Gator.
I should kick you off.
Boo.
Boo. Boo.
I'm a horned frog, so boo, boo.
I'm a Gator. I am orange. I am blue and orange, orange and blue all the way.
Well,
I'm sitting here drinking from my Seminole cup right now. Just saying.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Free Sneaker University, I'll tell you. And I was getting ready to give you a hard time. I was going to say at least it's better than being a Buckeye.
That's okay. Just remember this conversation when
I'm a Buckeye.
TCU's back in the national championship game. Just in December, in January, when TCU's back in the national championship game. Just remember we had this conversation.
All right, well let's keep this going. Buckeyes. I can't stand Ohio State. I'll tell you the story why later on that, Rats.
Well, you know what Buckeyes are, don't you? Do you know what a Buckeye is?
Yeah, I do.
A Buckeye is a big, hard, inedible nut that nobody wants.
It's a worthless nut.
All right, let's keep going.
Hold Sergeant Brian Fahey accountable. Remember, the process is a punishment. If you would like to donate to support the cause, you can do so by clicking my GoFundMe link in the description below. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now, I will be FOIA requesting all of the body camera footage and the 911 call, police reports, anything I can get my hands on. As soon as I have everything, I will share it with each and every one of you. So make sure.
I'm sorry?
A little bit. I was just wondering that.
Yeah, but my question is, how come his mustache is not meeting with his beard?
Oh, who knows?
Is it me, or have anybody ever noticed that?
I've
always noticed that. I'm like, what is up?
I've always been of the opinion that he super glues his beard on, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an art. You know, I have facial hair myself, but I make sure that my mustache and my beard meets. But this just looks odd.
Yeah. Well, Reyes is an odd little cookie. So let's keep going.
Stay tuned to the channel. But until then, after my cameraman and I were unlawfully arrested and our camera shut off, we were placed in.
Okay. First of all, Reyes cannot determine if that was unlawful or not.
Yeah, but he has to get that. He has to get the story going. He has to get his. You want to get the grift in. You want to get the. You want to change the narrative. And don't trust your eyes, folks. Trust me.
The back of a patrol vehicle and taken to the Groton Police Department, where we were placed in a jail cell to be booked and processed. After some time, a police officer came to my cell and said I was going to have a $10,000 bond, and that the cameraman was not going to have any bond. He just had to sign a promise to appear. Some time passed again. He comes back and he says, Mr. Reyes, there's a lot of moving parts here because it involves a Connecticut State Trooper. There's a lot of phone calls going on from people up high on the food chain, people with power, and unfortunately, your bond has been raised to $75,000, and your cameraman, his bond is now going to be $50,000. I told him a $75,000 bond for a breach of the peace.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty high bond. Now here's the thing that I want to add to this.
Does that mean it's probably going to be some more charges down the line or something that's coming up?
Possible. Yes. So Pelly did say that apparently the trooper was in a process of getting a protection order against Reyes before this.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yes. If that's documented, if that was taking place, this might be in some little bit of trouble. The protection order hadn't been granted yet, but it was in the process for. So that might be a kind of a little issue.
If Reyes knew about it and he had filed responses in court to it, then it's possible that could become an issue. Yeah,
I agree.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it comes to the question that I asked earlier. If you were having a problem with somebody, would you show up at their house? If you were having a problem with somebody, and that individual was, or someone representing that individual, or speaking on behalf of that individual, where that you, and more likely you don't know if they're speaking on behalf on their own or they're speaking on behalf because they were instructed to do so by that individual. But you're receiving death threats. If you saw that person pop at your house, you're going to be very hostile. You're going to go into that. You're going to be probably as aggressive as Fahey was, because you don't know what that individual true reason.
No, guys, just keep in mind one thing. Keep in mind one thing. Keep one thing in mind. This is the man who spent $50,000 to get out a $300 traffic ticket and lost. Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand is he said he has the right to walk up to this man's door and ask the question. But it goes back, I'm like, you have history with this guy. You going through, y'all have problems. You don't like him, he doesn't like you. So why make it worse and go to, that's the question. That's the $1 million question I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you do that? Why would you go to his house? You have a problem with it. There's a history with it.
Now it's no problem.
Your attorney would probably sit there and tell you, don't go anywhere near him.
It's no problem with him standing outside on the sidewalk where his truck is. He's on the sidewalk. That's no problem. But he shouldn't have crossed into his driveway. That's still his property.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, guys, let me interrupt you real quick. I was doing a little research. Let's go back to the curtilage thing just real briefly.
Okay.
I was doing some thing on Westlaw, and basically, journalists do not have an automatic right of access to private property, including the curtilage, and can face legal consequences of trespass charges for doing so without consent. So, just for what that's worth from Westlaw, from the internet.
So basically, what I was saying earlier, I've seen where reporters would stay out off the property until they get.
And I'm sure that varies widely from state to state. But.
True. Yes. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, just like for instance, when the local news show up to your property and they tell you to leave, get off my property, with no ifs, ands, or buts, they will leave your property, not even ask questions, but they will go on the sidewalk and start asking questions though. But long as you off the property, that's different. You on the sidewalk.
They're gonna wait for him at the end of the driveway.
And my beg to differ is that I believe that a journalist of any kind will continue to ask questions even as they're leaving, because I've seen it.
Yeah, and that's all well and good, and I'm sure that good journalists would do that, but they're also going to have legal consequences to face because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Yes. Possibly, and this is why Sean Ray is getting some legal consequences.
Somebody said something earlier that I think was pretty good. I think it was Reyes. Somebody was saying the problem is Reyes is trying to make himself the story.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That is the problem. Reyes.
Trying to make himself. See, this is why I wish Will was still up here, because I would ask, is there going to come down to a point when Sergeant Fahey is going to probably have to put in a restraining order?
He already did.
He already got an order, protection order.
He's already been applied for a protective order.
This is
I don't think it's been granted
quite
yet.
some time. I would say probably over a year. So why didn't Fahey start that process a long time ago?
Well, that's a good
question. That would be my question.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Probably because he didn't think anything of it. Probably like, oh yeah, let him spin his wheels for a couple of weeks and then it'll go away. But it didn't go away.
I've got to say one thing. About this. I mean, on the other side, I do have a problem with Fahey. Fahey is a hothead. He should not be acting like that. He acts unprofessionally. I mean, every video I've seen him in, he gets set off way too quickly. He gets mad. He gets angry way too quickly. But on this particular circumstance, I can understand why he was angry.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would be the same way right there. I would be.
Like when he
Let's
when
put
he
it this
first
way: Sean Reyes would not be worried about me spitting on him if he had
see
shown
like
up at my house like that.
when we first seen them interact together, I had a problem when Faye he put his hands on. I'm like, you shouldn't have never put your hands on him. You don't do that. As a state trooper, you do not put your hands on. There's no reason for you to put your hands on him.
Unless you're
Or even
affecting an arrest.
yes, or even if he shouldn't even got up in his face. All he had to do, like he was doing before, was turn around and walk away. But Sean Reyes said something clicked, and Faye just went off. We all remember that first video.
Yeah,
Oh
I do
yeah, the
remember
one. Is that the one where he says you'll go get your cell phone and make your complaint or something like that?
That's what he meant. He took his cell
Yeah.
phone and he threw it. He shouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
I
I'm
honestly
afraid
think he should have
the
done that.
spitting on this one is going to really come back to bite him big time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and here's another problem I have with it too. Now, he had his pistol in his hand, and he got up to Reyes's face.
Mm-hmm.
He's within
Man,
Reyes grabbing. Reyes could, if Reyes really wanted to, he could have went for the gun.
you know, but
And that's
I am
a
not
major.
defending. Well, I'm not defending anything Reyes is doing. I would
No,
never
no,
do
I'm
that.
just saying that's
But
just tactically speaking, that's not a
Fahey's
good thing.
not. But
He's not an
Sergeant
angel.
Fahey,
No,
yeah,
he's not an
Sergeant
angel.
Fahey's is not blameless on this either.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
not
the
an angel.
gun kind of gave him the license to do whatever the frick he wanted, and he did. He spit in his face.
Yeah, well, I feel like I said, having a gun and being that close is actually much more of a dangerous situation for a person with a gun because that gun can be taken from you.
See,
Yeah,
but
I
on
thought
that,
that was incredibly stupid just because of that. I mean, there have been so many. How many police shootings have there been where someone got their weapon and shot the police were shot with their own gun?
see,
Yeah, that's why.
but let me ask you all a question. I understand, yeah, he had a gun, but like I said, he never raised his gun at him. The thing is, though, do you have a right to defend your property?
Yeah.
Yes, but see, here's the thing. If you let's say you and Robert, I showed up at your house. You and I have a disagreement, and you don't want me there, and you pull
Sound
out
like
the
your cat?
gun, and you show me that you have a gun. See, that's where the problem comes in Florida. You can't
Sound like
present
your
a firearm. You cannot present your firearm
sound like
unless
your
you're
cat
going
don't
to.
want you there either.
Yeah, well, she's trying to get in through the door. She's waiting for me to
Yeah.
come out.
See, yeah, but Florida also has the castle doctrine.
Yes, it does. But you can't just present your firearm. You can't just say, "Look, I got a gun." That's against the law. The firearm does not come out unless it is absolutely necessary to use it, and then you better be ready to use it. You can't pull the firearm out and start pointing at someone and don't use it.
And you got to remember, in most, Connecticut is not a stand your ground state. It's not a castle doctrine state.
No, it's not.
And so they have anyone has those are called duty to retreat states, and you cannot use lethal force or deadly force or present. Well, I don't think you can present lethal or deadly force unless you're convinced you're about to get killed or going to have serious bodily injury, and that's not the case here with Reyes.
Right. And I think I know why Sergeant Fahey probably went and got his gun because he said that I'm just repeating what he said. You threatened to kill me online. Now that was Sean Reyes's supporters.
Yeah, I can't imagine Reyes himself would be that stupid to actually threaten someone.
I actually heard I actually heard Sean Reyes say, "Please do not threaten this man." I actually heard Sean Reyes say that. But
you heard him say that. You heard him say that on his videos. He always says that. But here's the thing: if someone's threatening you on behalf of somebody else, let's say Rats is threatening you on behalf of me, and I've made publicly said, "Rats, don't threaten Mr. Thomas. He's all right guy. Don't threaten him." But offline, Rats is saying, yeah, we're going to come get you, all that kind of stuff. And suddenly I show up at your house after you've been threatened, You don't know if I'm telling rats, hey, go tell Mr. Thomas we're going to go get him.
Right.
You don't know. You don't know if I'm saying that offline.
But
yeah, but see, the thing is, guys, part of the First Amendment. I mean, you have First Amendment rights, but you also have First Amendment responsibilities. And one of those is you are responsible for what you say. If you threaten someone's life, it's not someone else's fault. You may be trying to help out. If you say that, you're responsible for that. Period.
Right.
But isn't it that what got Craig Hendry convicted? Almost something like that.
Craig,
well, no, that was different. That was different. He encouraged everybody to call flood. He wanted.
Okay,
he was doing
that's
call
different.
flooding.
Okay, let's keep this going because let's live here a little bit more of the grift.
He said, well, that's the other thing. You're being charged with breach of the peace, criminal trespass, and voyeurism. Yes, voyeurism. You cannot make this up. I have no idea what's going on.
Sean, I really think there's a lot more to it. I think there's some things that you're holding out on us. $75,000 for just those 3 charges right there. Yeah, I think you're lying to us. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. There might be other charges that you're hiding from us. And
I'm sorry.
It's retaliatory.
Well, I haven't seen the arrest report. Has anybody seen the arrest report? Are those the only charges?
I have not. No, I have not.
Because if that is the only charges he got, that is pretty excessive.
See, that's what we haven't seen. Like you just said, we haven't seen the arrest report. It may be some other charges on there. We don't know yet because he hasn't said anything about it.
That will come out in the wash later on. I mean, you're one of the biggest liars out there, so I really don't trust anything that you say whatsoever. So, yeah, prove it to us.
This is corruption and tyranny at the highest levels. Between my cameraman and I, $125,000 bond, and we were each charged with 3 crimes. But Sergeant Fahey gets to walk free after spitting in my face.
Oh, there you go.
I've never felt so violated and
3 crimes
disgusted in my.
Yeah, 3 crimes each. Like Blackheart says, I don't trust everything he's saying here. There's probably something more to it, or it may not even been that amount. Of course, all that can be verified. Of course, if we can maybe FOIA the police reports.
See, but the thing is, though, I'm going back to the signs. I understand. They say, well, like they say, well, you need to have a sign up. I'm like, well, number one, it's private property. They don't. And then you also, I'm like, they had 2 signs up there. They said private road, do not enter.
You don't have to have a no trespassing sign for private property?
Say it again. No, if it's your private property, you don't have to have a no trespassing sign up. Long as somebody tell you my private property, get off of it. You got to get off of it.
You're right.
Whether you have a trespassing sign or not, if you're told to leave, you have to leave.
Right.
Exactly.
But I have trespassing signs up for a purpose.
Okay, guys. I did a little more research here. In Connecticut, private property does not necessarily have to have a no trespassing sign to be protected from criminal trespass. While posting signs can be helpful in establishing and making awareness of where the private property boundaries are, the signs are not required, and criminal trespass can still be charged if someone is on private property without the permission of the owner or administrator of that property. There you go.
Yeah. So that would be trespassing.
I have seen some properties that had no trespassing. Then right up under it said guard. It actually had bad dog on it, will bite. So that's telling you, don't come on my property. There's a dog on here and it will attack you.
Well, it covers their ass if the dog bites.
Yeah, that's a civil thing too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but like I said, I would not trust like everyone here. Like I don't trust most everything that's coming out of.
Hey guys,
not without some kind of verification.
Guys, I need to get back to the family reunion. Y'all take it easy. I need to run.
All right. Yeah.
Everybody have a great night.
You too. Take care.
You too, David.
Okay.
And you know what?
You're gonna do what?
No. I was saying was, right up, when it says under the sign, bad dog will bite, it would have been hilarious if it said, and don't trust the cat either.
Hey, rats, take care. We'll see you later. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for talking to me.
See you guys later.
All right. Take care, David.
All right, David.
All right. But, yeah. But at the end of the day, in this particular situation, I think someone with half a brain, knowing that there's a problem between you and the other individual, you would not show up. Plain and simple. Yet Reyes, my take on this, and I'm going to ask you guys what your take is here, but my take on it is Reyes wants to be center of the story. He wants to be he wants to be the story. He does not care about reporting the story. He wants to be the story.
No,
wait your turn. Wait your turn.
No, because you made a point. That's why I wanted to say something.
Yeah, that's so. My take is he knew he didn't need to be there. Again, and that's the stress I want to make is that you know there's a problem, you don't go there. You just don't go there. Robert, your turn.
No, the thing is, like I said, let's go back to the beginning when he was talking about all this overtime. Okay, you may have a legitimate story. If he's cooking the books, offer the proof. Where's you got to have the proof. I would want to see the proof because, like I say, like Rat says, you could lie to him. Like yes, you could lie to him, but you're gonna suffer some type of legal consequences if this is not true. So yeah, you can do all this, but I want to see proof of this first. I would love to see the proof.
And I would say in that type of situation, he would have been better off making sure all his ducks were in a row, everything was put together, and actually produce a good news story that did not have a statement unless he went and tried to get it at the man's job and not at his house. Again, this is all him trying to be controversial. And
he could have went to the state the captain of the Connecticut State Troopers and found all this out. He didn't have to go to Sergeant Fahey. He could have went to the captain.
Yeah, exactly. Rats to the moon.
I agree with you guys that I believe that whenever Sean is doing his regular journalism, he's a good journalist. But this is intended to antagonize, and he's done it twice, and I didn't agree with it either time that he did it. If he showed up at my house and stuck a camera in my face as soon as I opened the door and he started barraging me with questions, I would feel the same way. It would upset me.
Right.
But, this is part of the reason why I'm stepping away from that community is because I had heard that Sean baits people. So if that's what he's doing, I don't endorse it. What First Amendment people do is they are trying to get these laws tested in court so that our rights are never walked on in the future. That's what they're trying to do. But some of them don't have that pure purpose anymore. It's all about the clicks and views and the money.
Yes. And Sean's Reyes is actually a good example of that he's all about the money.
See, but DMA did the same thing. He showed up at a police officer's home and the wife answered the door and the wife had no idea what was going on.
Actually, no. I think in DMA's situation, I think it was the actual officer. Yeah.
It was
Sean Reyes. Yeah, it was the officer for DMA, but Sean Reyes did show up at the police commissioner's house and
the police commissioners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now DMA, he showed up at the officer's house. Something about the police officer having an affair, something like what they have to do. I mean, isn't that the police officer? If he was, isn't that the police officer's private business?
As long as it's not taken.
It's what you said earlier. He could have taken it to the police station, and he can do his FOIA requests at the police station. He can talk to the captain. He can talk to the chief, and he can get information that way. This was to antagonize.
Right. And he says and then I forgot who, because somebody else, plenty of channels did this, run over this video, and something else. I'm not sure if it was Pele's video or NCR's video that says that Sean Reyes is now filing federal lawsuits against Fahey and the police department that arrested him. I would love to see how far that go.
This is why I believe that some of these people do it, and they're not doing it for good reasons. They're doing it for personal reasons, like Chris Ryder. I believe, honestly, that him and Tiffany sat one day and kind of looked at each other and went, "Hey, dude, we can make some money off of this."
Right.
And that's what
I
it's
think
all
so
about.
too. I
do believe that there are people in the 1A community who have a heart of gold that are doing it for the right purposes. But
look at
the community is beginning to stink.
But look at it's this auditor, First Amendment auditor named what is his name? Ironton Auditor. He does it the right way. He does police audit. He stand back. He doesn't say a word. He just records the police. And then when the police, I have seen videos when the police came up to him and start talking to him, and he asked them, was this traffic stop bad or anything? He say no. They'll start talking to him, telling them what happened and what everything. It's ways to do it, and it's just bad that Ironton Auditor he doesn't get as many views because he does it the right way. But when you see the other auditors doing it the wrong way, they get the views. But this guy don't hardly get any views because he's auditing the right way, but he's still posting videos.
Right. Yeah, and that's
like the guy in Central Florida that does it. The God Bless Homeless Vets, Jeff
Gray.
Jeff Gray.
Yeah.
He does a great job. He knows the laws, and he's amazing. But it only takes a few that make the community stink, and they're the ones in the community are not regulating it. They're all getting out of control, and I don't know if you guys know what's going on with Benghazi Rabbit, but that has really made me. I went through my list today and unsubbed from almost every single First Amendment auditor.
And it's
because I'm so mad about it.
It's just Jeff Gray. I understand what he's doing. He's on public property. My problem, I'm not saying my problem is. Well, yeah, my problem is the people call the police on him. I'm like, well, why are you calling the police here on this guy? He is on the public property. If you don't like what his sign says,
people don't understand that.
Yes, if you don't like what
they don't understand the difference between private property and public property.
Right. And if you don't like what his sign says, you can ignore it. Right. And a lot of them say, well, we don't like what your sign says. I'm like, well, that's his First Amendment. You don't have to like what he say. If I don't agree with what he says, if I don't agree with what he say, I'm gonna fight for what he said. It's the First Amendment. I may not agree with it, but he has the right to say it.
And hey guys.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, this has been a great show. We are at 2 hours and almost 10 minutes on this show. So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing my outro music.
I know, because your cat is telling you it's time for us to eat. I mean, she really going off on you back there. I hear.
Yeah. I got the door closed. So you can't see or hear what I'm doing. So, Rats to Moon, thank you for joining me. It's been a while since you've been on my panel, so it's good to have you. Mr. Thomas, as always.
I didn't know if it would even work.
Nice.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you, Rice. I would love for you to come back on panel again because I like having you up here. It's very,
That's
it's
why
very
you
fun.
have me on, because I'm against you guys.
That's kind of why I wanted you to come up. We didn't need a bunch of...
I'm not gonna say against us. I'm like, we just say we disagree.
Yeah, and it's okay to disagree.
Right.
We respectfully disagree, and we can still be cordial.
Yeah. And
absolutely, thank you.
So, Rats, great to have you, Mr. Thomas. Thanks for coming. Will popped in, Project Watch popped in, and so did David Persons. And it's always great to have those guys on. This has been a good discussion about how far can you really go when you're a journalist and reporting a story. That being said, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Drinks with Doc. Rats in the Moon. I hope you can show up. The only rule of thumb, you gotta have an adult beverage.
We can't?
You got to have one because it's drinks with Doc.
Oh,
Doc,
What-
you guys
We're gonna have
hang
it in
tight.
the Seminole
Hang
Cup?
tight when we go offline. And everybody else, have a good night. Take care. See you on Saturday night. Bye-bye.
bye everybody.